So I want to say welcome to each of you to Sanctuary Online on this September evening, Tuesday, September 8th, where we're excited to show you it's a Zoom 201 session. So if you're a person who either attends a lot of Zooms, you're going to learn some great stuff tonight as well to help you maneuver and navigate your way around a Zoom screen. Also, if you're a host, if you maybe are hosting family conversations or book clubs or card games or even doing online classes, I'm going to be able to give you quite a few tips and tricks for that tonight. So I'm excited about that. The way we're going to do it is going to be completely interactive. So I'm going to act as a host and teach you as I go. All right, does that sound okay? So what I'd love to see is how many folks are brand new to Sanctuary Online tonight, though. Judy, Coffee, you're dialing in from Michigan. Nancy and Ethelia, you're in new tonight. And Tammy, have you been here before? You've been here before? And Marcia, good to see you all. This is fantastic. So the way we're going to start tonight first is I'm going to teach you how to change your name on the screen. So many of you come in, you sign in, and it has your, what does it have? It has your, like your profile name, or it might just say iPhone or something like that. So if you take your mouse and you scroll over the box on the screen in front of you of your face, what should happen when you stop your mouse over there, a little mute button or a little three, they call it the triple ellipsis, should come up. You click on that, top right hand of your face, your box. The third option down should say rename. And then a screen pops up, and I'm going to rename myself as Joe Sanctuary Online Host. And then you see how that changes in my box there. So Mary Ellen, there's two of you up there, right? You can put both of your names in the screen. Bonnie and Carol, you've been doing this for a while now. You two are getting to be old hats at this great stuff. Let's see, Pastor Marcia, Barb. Jackie's going with JJ tonight, okay? And Dawn from the Venice Quilters, fantastic. So, all right, now what I'm gonna do is go back and share my screen and give you a little bit of what we're gonna do tonight. So I'm gonna share my screen and go to advance, go to portion of screen. This was not working a minute ago, so we'll see if it is tonight. Perfect, there we go. So this evening is Zoom Host 201 for hosts. And what we're gonna do tonight is, like I said, I want you to take a look at this picture right here on my screen. This is actually my setup, and I'm giving you a little cheat right there. I'm gonna sneak this down and see if that pops up into your entire screen. What you can see there is, there's my main screen that I'm looking at right now, but when I'm teaching, I always have a secondary screen. You can see that down here, because that screen, I'm signed on with another account. And why I do that is that allows me to see what you can see. So instead of having to ask you, oh, do you see this slide? Or, oh, can you see this or that? I can just glance over kind of quickly, check my second screen. And as an instructor or someone, if you're going to be doing lots of things with slides, really, really important to try and find a setup that allows you to have a primary screen and a single screen. You'll also see over here I have some lighting, and over here I have some lighting as well. And down here on the screen, I have my script on an iPad. So, and then here's a cheat sheet of paper. So many ways to give yourself some kind of tricks of the trade that are out of the purview of the rest of the folks that are your participants. So tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about Zoom setup. A lot of what you do as a facilitator or as a host, you actually set up ahead of time. And I'm also going to show about how we can do that change room ID and give you a vanity URL if you'd like to. We'll start off with Zoom navigation, because what it always helps is when you've got new people to Zoom, they love being kind of centered, right? and you help your participants kind of navigate pretty quickly around the screen, help them use the tools, and they get to enjoy their experience even more. I want to quickly offer why we agree that laptops, especially if you're facilitating, are significantly better to use than an iPad and definitely over your mobile phone. And then we'll get into the meat of the night. Zoom tools for facilitators and hosts and moderators. We're going to talk about how to share your screen. Once you're sharing, how to help your folks use annotations. We're going to do breakout rooms. We're going to do polls. And we're also going to do something called spotlight parties if we have time to get that far. It's a way to have some fun with Zoom. Now, I'm going to stop sharing. And I want to just check, can you all see multiple faces on the screen? Or are any of you just seeing one big face when I'm talking? Anybody seeing one big face? Ah, Bonnie and Carol, good. Thanks, ladies. So what you want to do is, again, if you go up to the top right of your screen, you're going to see something that either says speaker view or gallery view. You see that? And once again, you want to check with your participants, because if they're just seeing one big face, that's really good if you want to see me really large. But if you want folks to have community and or to have conversation and talk with each other, you want to make sure that says speaker view, which means you're in gallery view. It might seem a little counterintuitive, but if I can see where it says speaker view, I should be seeing a good chunk of you. I think we've got 20 or so on the call tonight. So can I get some thumbs up that you can see speaker view? You can see all of us. Good? Okay, and Sandra, you doing okay? I want to make sure that we're going along and we're catching everybody up all the way. Fabulous. Oh, and Sandra, how cute of you using a reaction. I'm going to go there now. I'll teach that. So Sandra, see Sandra's thumbs up, and Marcia has a thumbs up. If you look to the bottom of your screen, there's a little reaction, a smiley face guy with a plus down there. You can give me a clapping hand, or you can give me a thumbs up. It's a nice way to give the host some information. The fun part about that is you can put it up there and it will stay up there for about 10 seconds, then it falls off by itself. Okay, so thanks, Sandra, for helping me jump ahead and teach that piece a little bit. Now, what I'd love to do is cruise around the screen. So first off, let me do this. On your bottom left, let me, hands up again, is everyone using a laptop? Just making sure. Okay, fabulous. Once again, if you or your participants are on an iPad, everything is different, and where their tools and toolbars are is different, and how many people they can see. On a laptop like we have, first your screen is going to be 25, or you can even make it hold 49 people, 49 little teeny boxes of people's faces. On an iPad, you can only see 9 at a time. So my mom watches each night on the iPad, and she's like, how come I can't see Linda? How come I can't see this person? And we're like, Mom, you got to keep scrolling back and forth and back and forth. So again, if you're a facilitator or a host, and you're going to have more than 9 people on your presentation, you for sure want to be on an iPad, but you're also going to want to encourage them to be not on the iPad, but on a laptop. If you're on a cell phone, which sometimes folks are out on the road, they catch your online live, 4 people at a time, only 4. So you got to scroll, 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 scroll. So it really makes a big difference if you're trying to create community. Okay. Now, okay. Let me, because I want to answer questions as we go. Many of you have yourselves muted, and right now I appreciate that, because that means that there's no background dogs barking, or the news isn't on, or, you know, I don't know, the golf tournament from yesterday. But if you're on mute, I want you to try something cool. Take your fingers and touch your space bar and hold it down. And what you should see is that you can come temporarily off mute. You can make a few comments. You release that and you're back off mute. Now tell me who didn't know that until today. Come on. See? Yeah, price of admission, right, Chris? Isn't that cool? So often when you're doing this, I see people and they're like, Cheryl, you're on mute. And she's figuring out how to grab her mouse and go unmute herself. I'm like, honey, hit the space bar. Just take the space bar down for a moment and take the space bar back up. And for conversation, suddenly that's really easy for your participants, isn't it? Isn't that fun? There you go. So a few of you learned something right away. I'm okay with that. All right, so down here, I'm going to keep on scrolling around the, thanks, Tammy, I got some claps. I'm going to go down to the bottom left, and you'll see a little microphone, right? If you click that little fella up, there's a whole bunch of information about how to test your speakers, and many of you will see people who will have headsets on. If you're going to do a lot of presenting, I mean, JJ, you've got your headset in right now, or if you're going to be listening to a presentation or giving a presentation when there's other people in the house, you put your headset on, it will automatically change down here in your audio settings, and that way they can't hear and you're not interrupting other folks. Yeah, JJ, sound good? All right. Now, on the video, the next little icon there is a stop video. I want you to click. Well, first off, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show you something. And when I stop my video, instead of just having my name, which many of you, as you can see, Pastor Marcia or Barb's iPhone or Ken, if you stop yours, what I have done was I have an account where I'm allowed to put a photo in my profile. And so when I turn off my my video, boom, instead of just seeing my name, I actually have advertising up there, right, that I want you to see. If you look down here, let me see if I can do that on this one. Here's my secondary camera. See me down here where I'm waving at you? Of course, because I don't want to have two of me anywhere. That's kind of scary. Ask my wife or my mother. I want to go ahead and stop the video. And in that spot, you'll see, again, a little bit of advertising. Another course that we're doing coming online. Okay? So that's one interesting piece. Another fun thing, Dawn, I think you just did this. You gave yourself a background, right? So go to that video and hit the arrow up and see where it says choose virtual background. I want you to test that. Click on that. And what should happen is that Zoom has given you any number of Zoom backgrounds. They're already in there. And depending on the age of your computer, like, see, Chris, yours is working, but sort of not working, right? Sandra, same thing. Depending on the age of your computer, sometimes this doesn't work and you need an actual green screen behind you. There you go, Chris, you're looking great. I just want to show you though, Tammy's, yours is working good and Dawn's is working. I want to show you that you can also make your own. So see this, how I went into, actually it's a software called Canva, and I created a Sanctuary on the Road online background. Or for more fun moments, there's my dog, right? So you can actually load other virtual backgrounds. I think there's another one of a sanctuary here, our big logo, right? Our rock, and this is Sable behind a rock on the property. So what you can do, the way you put your own pictures back in there, Cheryl's burning up with marshmallows. That gives you a little idea who Cheryl is. Look at you guys are doing great. The way you put your own pictures in there is if you come up to the very top of where it says choose virtual background, there's a little plus sign to the top right. So you can do that at another time, and you can put different kinds of pictures and test pictures to have backgrounds. Isn't that fun? So if it's a card game, you know, maybe you're hosting a card game, you could take a picture of a deck of cards or all the aces or all the kings and queens or whatever, and you can create your own picture, and then you can just upload it. And then whenever you want to choose for it, it'll be in a library of all sorts of great pictures for you. That sound good? All right. Okay, now I'm going to keep on cruising. Many of you have your chat box open already, which I can see some fantastic chats. Thank you very much. Right here, though, on the bottom, I want you to click on where it says participants. So if you click up on the participants, what should happen on your screen is all the names of the participants kind of come up here on top of the chat box. And you'll notice that you have a yes, a green check mark, a no, a go slower, a go faster. Under more, you got a little coffee cup up there. And what happens if you click any one of these, go ahead and click any one of these. What you'll do is you'll see the screen of participants, start to, there's some claps, there's some hands, there's some ups and downs, there's some Joe, how long will this last? And so what happens there is your participants can kind of talk to you, or what I find is if I'm in a classroom and I'm wondering if I'm talking too long or it's getting boring, I can ask everybody, you know, go ahead and do this. And when you're finished, give me a green check mark. That way I'm testing, are they learning? Are they engaged? And they actually interact with me a little bit, right? So if you didn't know this was there, once again, great tool for facilitators. Also, if folks want to break, either they can give you the coffee sign, or they can give you the clock sign, you know, things like that. So this is a way where folks can talk to you without actually raising their hands. Now, to get rid of either the participant list or the chat list, you'll see a little upside down arrow in the top left of both of those. I can click that and it will let me minimize it or close it or pop it out, which means it takes it away from connected to my screen. And the same thing for my chat, but I'm going to leave it there for right now. And just a couple little things to show you. How are we doing so far? Any questions just yet on what I've covered? I know I'm kind of going pretty quickly because I want to get to the fun part of host helping. Any questions yet? All right. Well, do you see on the bottom, I'm gonna do something now called a poll. I'm gonna launch a poll, and a little bit later in the class, I'm gonna show you how to do this. But for me right now, I'm gonna come up and I'm going to launch a poll. And what should happen is you should see in the middle of your screen, you have two questions, okay? The first question is you rating your skill for hosting Zoom meetings. So if you've never hosted a Zoom meeting and you think you're absolutely clueless, give me a 1. Or if you think you're a Zoom host master and you should be teaching this course instead of me, go ahead and give yourself a 10, or anywhere in between there. So you click on that, and then you scroll down a little bit. So that's a question in a poll. When you set up a poll up as a host, you can either have them choose one answer, or question number 2 is a multiple choice. You can have folks choose more than one answer. So I'd love you to choose 2 answers down below, okay? And what I'm able to see, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna vote from my other screen as well. Once you get your, you make your choices and then you hit submit, it comes into me and I can actually see that 10 of you have voted. Now 11 of you have voted. Now 12, now 13, 14. So I can start doing the do, 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 that song, okay? 15 of you have voted. Sandra, I can see your head tapping along there. So what I'm gonna do now is anybody else needs many more time. 1001, 1002, 1003, I'm gonna end the polling. And then I'm gonna share the results. And the reason I'm telling you these words is I'm gonna show this to you a little later, how you can do this. I'm gonna share the results. And what happens, what pops up onto your screen now is anonymous voting. I don't know which one of you gave me which answers, but what you can see there is that one person gave themselves, I've never hosted a Zoom meeting. Most of you are giving yourselves 3s, and number 7 comes in pretty high too, so that's good. A few of you are pretty skilled, and I hope I can teach you something here tonight. Down at the bottom, let's see, once again, you can see the percentages, right, of who voted how much. And it looks like a lot of you want to talk about breakout rooms. So, and someone thought this was the pet photo contest. Was that you, Cheryl, again? I think it's always fun when you're doing polls to put a humorous option in there for people to kind of, you're always trying to keep it light, right? Learning is different when you do it online. All right, I'm going to take those results down and bring this down off my screen and we'll get going. So that's what a poll looks like from your side. I'm going to show it to you in a minute from my side. Let's see, I can also do recording, And I'm going to do something else here. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to make Cheryl a co-host. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. But what you want to do with that is I'm just going over Cheryl's, I'm scrolling over Cheryl's photo right now. And because I'm the host, it allows me to do a couple things. I can spotlight Cheryl and make her really, really big. And that kind of forces all of you to see Cheryl in a really large way, right? Where'd you go now, Cheryl? Everybody's laughing at you, Cheryl, because your face is so big. And then I can also go to Cheryl. I gotta figure this out now. I can also go to Cheryl and I can take that. I'm gonna make you the co-host and I'm gonna cancel the spotlight video. Aren't you appreciating that?
Yes, thank you.
Excuse me. Thank you. And bless you, Sandra. Appreciate that. I'm gonna go back to gallery view and we're zooming along here. Okay. So it sounded like the first thing you all wanted to do. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna share my screen. How familiar are y'all with sharing screen? Pretty familiar or have no idea? All right, and I'm gonna show you. When you share your screen, as a facilitator, I'm gonna hit this portion. And what happens is I could have prepared some slides like I did this with our agenda tonight, but something like this right here. Let me click that up. So tonight we're doing 201 training. What I want you to do is on your screen, because I've shared a screen, if you look at the very top of your screen, you should see a little green bar that says you are viewing Joe, Sanctuary Online host screen, right? And to the right of that, there's a little bit of white print that says view options. Go ahead and click that down to the third option where it says annotate. Now, see what you have there. You have the opportunity to grab any one of these tools. You can grab, you can format first, middle of your screen. You can choose a color and a line width. You can choose a font if you want. And then, as some of you already know, now you can go down here and you can draw all over my beautiful slide. And just to let you know, some of you are doing stamps. There you go with the hearts. Dawn, using the name stamp, the arrow. That's the only one, Dawn, that actually shows a person's name. Isn't that interesting? So everything else that you guys are doing is completely anonymous. And what I can do is go up to my screen and I can clear all the drawings. I can clear all the drawings. I can clear my own drawings. Barb's still bouncing around there. Someone found those on the drawings. You can do some great circles, or what's this called? Parallelograms. You can do all sorts of things like this, right? So anyway, kind of fun for your people. Let's just say a great way to use this would be if you are, you've got a new group and you're just saying, hey, how you feeling out there? Let's start out tonight with talking how you're feeling. And people might circle things like, I'm kind of spontaneous tonight. I'm feeling pretty calm, or I'm feeling pretty competitive. So this is a fun way to show people how to annotate and then to let them practice a little bit, even though you all are clearly out of control, okay? I do want to just warn you, if you, when you go to the next slide, watch what happens here. I'm gonna let a few of you still have some fun here. And when I go to the next slide, those annotations are coming with me unless I go up to the top and I clear them again, okay? So here's what I want to teach you, another thing here. I want you to grab your text tool. So back up in that annotations bar. And here's this one's a little bit more tricky. When you choose text, you're going to come down somewhere in the slide, and when you click on it, you're going to get a little white box. This is a test. And then when you click away from it, it shows up. Oh, and look at this, Barb. You and I we're right over each other. Perfect example. As a facilitator, I can actually go up here and I can move yours around, Barb. I can choose. I'm not being able to do it tonight here. I can move that around a little bit. And somebody come up here on the top left for me. I would love you to do this. Having fun. There you go. Good, good. So here's what as a facilitator, and even you, I believe, let me see if you can do this. See up on the top, so you've got this wonderful annotated PowerPoint slide filled out. What I want you to do now is go up and hit save. See right on the top of your annotations bar, there's the undo and the redo, there's the clear button, then there's the save button. Everybody go ahead and hit that just as a practice. And what happens is, you actually just save. Zoom makes an immediate file in your documents and saves this slide. So if I were to allow you to do the same thing, let's go up one. And I'm going to clear this so it looks nice. Now you can do the same thing. You can actually go to this slide and you can hit save and see how it says save as a ping file in your folder. If you click go to folder or show in folder, it will take you on your computer to the slide, to the file folder and show you that screenshot. Isn't that neat? So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to take you one more slide. And now that it's all clean and clear, you can do the same thing. You can go up, click it, and save it. And now when you show in folder, you can see that slide's there as well. Pretty neat, eh? All right, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute because I've been talking for a long time. So what I'd love is any questions. I know I'm just zooming along tonight, no pun intended. Well, sort of a pun intended. Questions so far or comments on that much learning? Please.
That was pretty awesome. I love the saving it. That was stuff I didn't know. And I use Zoom every day at work. So the annotating and stuff like that. So do you have to have a something on the screen, or is there a whiteboard?
Yep. These are great questions, Ellen. So and I can't show you all of this. When the interesting thing is you can't annotate at all. If you notice the screen right now, there's no option for us to have annotation. So annotation only can occur when someone is sharing their screen. Okay. Now, sometimes this is getting like advanced to 301. I might put you in a breakout room and say, Ellen and Dawn and Tammy and Chris, you guys are going to be in a breakout room. And one of you, I'd like you to share your screen, choose a whiteboard, and then you can do the same thing. All the folks in that breakout room will be able to annotate on that one whiteboard, Ellen. And if you and I were in a classroom, you'd probably say, oh, let's show this to the big group, right? You'd take a big piece of whiteboard paper and you'd show it to everybody. Instead, now you can save. So it's a great facilitator technique. If you've made this, say you've had a discussion question and you have this fabulous annotation or notes that you've done from your discussion, everyone in the group can actually save it. And Ellen, if you came out of your small breakout room and I gave you control as the host, which I could say, Ellen, could you share your whiteboard with all of us? And then all of us could save it. Right? So I'm gonna let that sink in a little bit for you for the utilization of that. Isn't that neat? So yeah, if you're thinking this is it's a work meeting, or once again, if there's something you want to save or hold, like I just gave you 2 cool slides, I just cleaned them up, put them right there, and said go ahead. And if you click save, which you can do at any time when someone's sharing their screen, Zoom is going to put that right into a little file in your documents, and it's just going to have the date on it. Okay? Now, I'm going to blow your mind, Ellen. I think you already know this one, though. So that's the way you can do whiteboard. Ellen, I will say, I do a lot of teaching online. You guys know that now. And so what you can do is you can give people a like a Microsoft Word document, just like I showed you with slides or with maybe some discussion questions, very simple. And you can actually go down to look at the bottom of your chat now, folks. And in the bottom of your chat box, there's a little thing that says file. You could click on that and send everyone a prepared, Word document, Ellen. So now that when I put you into smaller groups, I could say, bring that up. Now you pull that up, and now people can annotate on it. You get it so far? If you're following me, I know this is a little bit if you're used to facilitating or taking larger groups into smaller groups, okay? Same thing, right in that next to the file, if you click right now, see those little 3 dots? And we call them in Zoom talk, we call them a triple ellipse, in case you want to be cool, okay? Or 3 dots, which they are. You click on that, and suddenly it says save chat. So now, what we do every night before we close off is we click that save chat. Same thing, it'll show it in the same folder as a data file. So that's how we're able to grab your emails and where you're from and your first and last name, because you've gone ahead and put those in the chat up front for us. That way we get the correct spelling and we have your address. And I hope you know, let's see, Mary Ellen Bradley, you've given us your cell phone number there, right? So what we can do is we can put your cell phone in our database, and next Tuesday, Barb's gonna click you a link and send you out a little reminder that says, hey, tonight is Sanctuary Online. And like Ellen, you got yours today, right? And it even has the link right in there. You just click it and you're good to go. So even though we're over 55, or maybe even older, we're learning some new tricks out here with technology, aren't we? All right, so Ellen, any other questions? Anybody else want to unmute themselves and ask a question?
Well, yes, I was wondering about with the annotations, is that under the host's control? Is it anybody? Is it all or none? Or, I mean, as far as like getting out of control with people scribbling on there, or can just a few people, how does that work?
Well, yeah, it's definitely can get out of control, Chris. Thanks for that question. One thing that I might have a picture of this later on. I think I do. Let's do this. I'm gonna share my screen again so all of us can get my next slide, and I'll click on this one. So just kind of answering a question for you, Ellen, right there. I made these ahead of time, and that way you can now annotate. When you're annotating, and I'm going to look on both of my screens. I'm going to click up my annotate bar, Chris. And the third guy to the right-hand side is a clear button. So if I write down here, and then I hit clear, it makes it go away. As a host, what's different? You guys can go ahead and start writing on this. You can draw a little bit for me. What's a little bit different for me, Chris, is that I have on my annotate bar, my clear button says clear my drawings, clear viewer drawings, or clear all drawings. So if things are getting out of hand, I can say, oh my God, you knuckleheads, hold on. And I can make it go away like that, okay? So I think this will be something around giving real good instruction. And if people get out of hand, you just say, okay, stop it. Now, I'm gonna see if I've got Cheryl down here. If I click on Cheryl, nope, I can't stop anybody. Nope, I can't stop Cheryl, I can't stop Judy. I'm just trying to see if I by going on to you. Nope, nope, so I can't stop individuals, okay? Does that answer your question?
Joe, can you
Yes?
stop Is there a possibility to stop individuals in the setup if you had everybody's names? Well, but you don't usually have everybody's names in the setup, though, do you?
You know what? I'm going to check this, Cheryl. I'm going to go to participants. I'm going to grab, who am I going to grab? I'm going to grab Bonnie and Carol. No, all I can do, I can remove them. I can put them in a waiting room. I can do certain things, but I can't stop them once I've let them start. All right, sound good? So I can clear everybody again. And then you keep on drawing really fast on me.
Say that again, because your connection went down.
Sorry. Once you have begun annotating, at least nothing that I can find allows me to individually allow you to annotate or not annotate. I've never tried that, so it's a great question. Nope. So basically all I can do is clear up here. And I can go ahead and keep on clearing your drawings. All right. Sound good? Any other questions? I'm going to go ahead and stop my sharing right now. And any other questions there regarding kind of the sharing of the screen and the annotations?
Yes, I have a question.
Sure, JJ.
I'm going to be starting a book study next week, and we're doing video also. And I've set in on book studies where there was video, and I know there's a catch to sharing the video as well as sharing the audio. Can you explain that, please?
You know what? I can. And the way I'm going to do that is by taking you out to, we took a whole bunch of pictures tonight. I'm going to try and take you right to that spot though. Let me see here. All right. Okay, now the way I'm doing this is kind of tricky. Many of you, if you've ever shared a screen, and I encourage you to do this, another when you're practicing yourself, when you share the screen, right down there in that blue, there's a big green button in the middle. Most of you are in the basic. It just says basic, and that's where you choose your screen, a whiteboard, or any other files that you have, okay? The trick to this is on the bottom left hand. Let me share my screen so I can show you. I'm taking some pictures here today. I think it's the best way to actually show you what I'm doing, because it's what's interesting is Zoom doesn't let you, it's hard to say this, but it doesn't let you show yourself. Like I can't show Zoom to you, my Zoom. I have to actually take a picture of everything. So when you, as a host or anybody, share your screen, what you're seeing here is basic, which allows you to do the screen or the whiteboard. But I think to answer your question, Jackie, is down here in the bottom. See where it says share computer sound?
Mm-hmm.
And or optimize screen sharing for the video clip. Okay, you want to play around with those two things. I want to also show you, if you go from basic to advanced, it gets really cool, and very few people understand this. First off, let me ask you a question. When I put you into shared screen, how many of you lost all the faces off your screen, right? It forces your participants into something called full screen. So whenever I share screen, I try to make it a practice to say, okay, everyone go up and hit your escape button, because I just forced you into a full screen. If you hit your escape button, you come back out of full screen, right? And what you should see now is a big picture of the slide, and maybe you're gonna see either two things. What I have is a line of people down the right-hand side of my computer now, all of your faces, but I can't see all of you. I can only see one line of you. So if you go up and you've got two options here, there should be a little tiny parallel, two sets of parallel lines between the slide and the people. grab that right at the parallel lines and move it to the left, and you should see the slide get smaller and the people get bigger. Is that what you're seeing? Once again, really important. Now, I will tell you, on my big screen, I'm blind. I don't see any of that. The only way I know that to be true is by using my secondary screen. So Jackie, it might be a little bit crazy, or you think you're going over the top, but I promise you, if you have that second screen, you can give people instruction very differently, because when you share your screen, the main screen, you go blind. I lose my chat, I lose all the people, I lose a lot of control. Now, the way I get it back is by going in here into this advanced area. So get your slide kind of big again, people. And if I'm gonna go another picture, and you're gonna see that I've got the advance clicked. And when I click advance, I was on basic. Here's what basic looks like. Whiteboard, screen, all this kind of stuff, right? When I click to advanced, what happens is I either get portion of screen. Now, Ellen, this is gonna be you're gonna send me a Christmas card after you see this one, Ellen, okay? Since you do this at work a lot. And I can either do music or computer sound only, Jackie, okay? So if I'm gonna show a video, or if I'm gonna put music, if I don't do this and click music or computer sound or share computer sound, it's a very different experience for the participants, okay? And I'm gonna get, and we might run a little tiny bit over tonight, but I'm gonna show you, okay, how to do that, all right? Okay. Jackie, is that helping?
Yes, that's exactly, because I'm advanced, I have the advanced license also.
Perfect.
And I just know that the ones I have set in before, if the presenter always had problems because she'd either forget to click on share computer sound, or she'd forget to optimize screen sharing for video clip. You know, so it would take her a couple of tries, but when she finally got everything clicked, it would work just fine.
Yes, and the interesting thing is, as the facilitator, she has no idea it's not working, but you have a whole different experience on that side of the Zoom. And I'll try and be able to even show you the difference here if we've got time just a little bit later, okay? So you either click these guys down here, or you just click this guy up here. But here's something that is amazing. I will tell you that I teach quite a bit now, and I want to see my people, so I want to see the screen, the faces. I'm showing them a PowerPoint slide, and I'm also reading off a script. Now, that would be a lot of moving parts if you normally were back in this basic section, because once you hit basic and you share your screen, you go kind of blind. When you go to advanced and then portion of screen, hold on here. Here's what happens. I now get this little green box. See this green box right here? That comes in, and what happens is I can move the size of that green box and just show you this slide, which means I could have on my primary screen, I could have my script open, right? But you can't see it because I can shape the green slide. Watch me do it. I can take the green slide and look at that. All you get now is that, oops, sorry. All you get now is the slide. So I can shape what you can see when I can see the entire rest of my primary screen. So Ellen, if that's not blowing your mind right now, you got to practice that one.
That's awesome.
Isn't that neat? And until I met this, until I had a person teach me this, I had to have my script, you know, on an iPad. I had to have my people over here on another computer. I had my slides on one computer, and I mean, I'm just not that good, right? I'm not that talented.
But I've got 3 screens when I'm working, and so it's, you know, I kind of have some of that anyway, but yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so now I can take this, and I can, while I'm talking, I can show people, you know, a little more of my screen if I want to. And I will show you a little bit about that later on tonight. So Jackie, that was a great question. Thank you for asking it.
So when you do just that partial screen, then you can still see people. Is that correct?
Yes, because here's again what I do. So I'm gonna push my screen out and share a slide with you all, and I want to show you a trick, okay? So the same thing I do as a facilitator. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna choose advanced portion of screen. I'm gonna share part of my screen again, just for the heck of it for you, okay? And now on the right hand, I click escape, and on the right hand, I see all the people, but I only have like 4, 5, 6 of you, right? On the top of that little box, there should be a single square of on top of the people, or a double square, looks like a little hamburger, or a little Rubik's Cube. If you click on the Rubik's Cube, it should kind of, boom, give you about 6 people. And now you can grab the bottom. If you put your cursor down there, there'll be a little white kind of stripes, and you can pull the people out and make them as big as you want or as small as you want. And you kind of take control back of your primary screen. Is that working for you guys? Can you give me a thumbs up if that's making sense to you? All right, Sandra's giving me a sort of. I've learned to read Zoom faces, Sandra, even though you're in the dark. I got you there, girlfriend. Questions on that, my friends? Pretty good?
I couldn't find the little buttons that you were talking about, the Rubik's Cube, etc. So
Okay,
that was what I was looking, frowny.
Are you seeing a whole bunch of people right now, Sandra?
I'm seeing a lot of people.
Okay, let me do this. Let me come out of screen share. Okay, now you're seeing a whole bunch of people, right, Sandra?
Lots of people.
Okay.
Everybody, and they're bigger. They're not bigger,
back.
but the pictures are bigger.
Yep. I'm gonna share screen again.
Yeah.
And maybe depending on how you left it last time, Sandra, right now, if you're either gonna see the little dot, the double dot, and the Rubik's Cube, or you're gonna see the 2 parallel lines. Either way, that should allow you to take control back of your screen.
And where are these little, oh, there's a parallel line.
Got them?
This one. I got them.
Okay, now you can make the slides smaller and the people bigger.
Yes.
Or you can make, and a whole thing you can also change by hitting escape, and that will give you part of your screen back. So what you're trying to do is help your participants know how to move around a little bit, okay?
Right. Yeah. Got it.
All right, I'm gonna cruise really quickly back into my pictures. I might go a few minutes over, my friends, just because I want to show you some fabulous stuff, okay? So I'm gonna move you guys over here, and I'm moving right now. I'm moving that. So I'm in the advanced arena, and I'm moving the little green box around right now, so you can see the screen share. All right. So here's what it looks like. Here's again. This is Cheryl and I rehearsing this afternoon. So I have my primary screen and my secondary screen. All right. And I'm going to keep on rolling and chatting and showing you what it looks like from my side. Putting you into breakout rooms. We haven't done that yet, have we? I'm going to show you my side. I'm going to put you in a breakout room and bring you back, and just maybe you'll have that experience. So when you want to create breakout rooms, all that means is you're taking this large group of people. I think there's 19 of us on here tonight. And I'm going to divide you up into a bunch of smaller groups. This is really great for smaller conversation. Or Jackie, you're doing a book club next week. You might have some large group conversation. If you've got 25 people, they can't all talk, right? You might offer a couple questions and then put people into breakout rooms of 3 or 4 apiece. They have a great conversation. Then you bring folks back into the larger group, right? As a facilitator, what happens is you see this. I'm just on the bottom of my screen, it says breakout rooms. And then we only had 3 participants. We had Cheryl and me and Cheryl's phone. And this is me, the host. I don't go into a breakout room. And automatic or manual, here's my options. I can choose who I want to put in different rooms, manual, or I can just do it automatic, and I can say 19 participants, I want you guys to go into 5 rooms. And the computer will just go poof, and it'll put you about 3 or 4 of you in a room. Okay? Now, I have one breakout room, and there's Cheryl, and me. Down here, you can see options that I have, add a room, or open the rooms. I'm gonna go ahead and add a room. I'm looking at options first, sorry. Options that you have, you click on this, and I can move all participants into breakout rooms automatically. I can allow you to return to the main session whenever you want to, or I can uncheck that, and you have to stay in your breakout room until I decide. You choose how long the breakout rooms are gonna go. Maybe you put people into a 10-minute discussion. And then you count down, and so this timer will count down. When the breakout room ends, it'll say, you have 59 seconds and your breakout room will end. You'll experience all this in just a moment, okay? So those are the options when I'm setting it up. And this is right now in front of me. So it's not before the session, it's right while we're doing the session. Now, I added another breakout room. Down here, I hit add a room, breakout room 2. And Cheryl, I wanted to move Cheryl to breakout room 2, okay? Really, really easy. I put each of us in one room, and then I'm gonna open the rooms. I open the rooms, and everybody takes off. And that is not showing you anything fancy. Here's what happens. I hit open the rooms, and I got this message. It says, all participants have been invited to join the breakout rooms. And it'll just automatically send you there, okay? Then, once you're all in these breakout rooms, I can broadcast a message to you. So I click on this, and this empty box comes up, and I just start typing. And I can type a notice that says, hey, I hope you're having fun in there. Boom, and it'll go to all the groups at the same time. Interestingly enough, when you're in a room, I can also choose to come visit you as the host, and you can also ask for me to come in. So say I've sent you to a room for 10 minutes and you're having conversation, but you're not quite clear what I asked. You can actually click and say, can the host come in? And I'll get a message that says, hey, Joe, they want you in breakout room 2. And I can go and join you in breakout room 2. And then I can leave breakout room 2. Really handy if you're doing larger groups, okay? Let me get out of here. Once again, I close the groups, and you see this. It's a little notice. All breakout rooms will close in 53 seconds, and that timer just clicks down. So if you're closing your conversation down, you know exactly how much time you have left. Pretty neat, eh? That's breakout rooms. So let's go do them.
Wait, I have a question.
Go ahead, Ellen, yep.
Yeah, so once you put 3 people in a breakout room, do they have access then to, again, a whiteboard, or do they have, can any of them share their screen if they want to take notes?
Yep, let's try that and go see. I believe you do, and I believe I've set it up so that you have all that. So I'm going to put you in breakout rooms right now, and why don't one of you say, let me test this? And you might have a share screen button on the bottom of your screen in the breakout room. One of you can share your screen, and you can do whiteboard, or you can even try and do the advanced and see if it'll let you. All right? So those of you, get exciting in there. I'm going to put you in there for 3 minutes. We are going overtime tonight, friends. And so you can play around for just a minute and practice a few things, okay? So I'm going to go breakout rooms. There are 17 of you. So if I put you in 5 rooms, that'll put 3 or 4 of you in a room, right? I'm going to put you in 4 rooms just so I've got enough people in there. And now it says create rooms. It's put you in all these fabulous rooms. I'm going to options. I'm going to put you in there for 2 minutes and give you a 60-second countdown. And I'm opening the room. So there you go. Have fun. Now, how good was that? Barb and Ken and Joe. I'm not going to be talking in this one, guys. I'm in the other one.
Can you see this?
Yeah, you're doing great. Everybody's playing. So I'm going to come and now I'm going to leave.
See if you can, see if any of you can write on this whiteboard. I think you can.
So we were also going to see if we could do advanced, right?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but I missed how she did advanced. So let me unshare.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. You go ahead, Tammy.
go ahead, Tammy.
Right there.
Oh,
Got it?
I guess.
I guess
I don't know what it means, but I said portion of screen.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but we got Joe back.
Oh, I got the, can you guys see?
Yeah, we could,
We see
No.
Zoom.
we see a big word Zoom and you on the side.
Do you see the orange?
Invited host. Okay, and here's the host.
And here
Yeah.
I come. Isn't that
All right.
Too much
So,
fun.
All right, I'm going to make you stop now because we're having too much fun. I'm going to make you all come back. You're going to have 60 seconds.
Okay.
See you in a minute.
all right.
You did that. You hit the
I
wrong
did
button.
that.
You came back early, ladies.
You did that. Carol did that.
I did that.
She hit the exits here.
That's all right. As long as you don't leave the whole meeting. Sometimes people leave the whole session. They're like, see ya. And they hit the wrong button. They leave completely.
No, we just drew pictures on the box and wrote little notes.
So everybody was able to do that, wasn't it? It was great.
Yeah,
It is great.
it was fun.
I'm trying to see, what have I not taught you yet tonight?
One of these days I'll feel safe enough to try to lead a Bible study. Only if
I
Carol's
did.
around.
Well, you know what? If
she's
you want to do
attacking.
that, if you guys want to do that, give me a holler and I'll come do the first one with you.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can teach you all, I can do just what I'm doing right now, kind of teach everybody what's going on, and then I'll help you host one time.
That was kind of rude.
Really rude. We were right in the middle of something.
Okay, now I told you there was a clock in the top right that was
Yes.
counting down,
Yes.
and it's still called Zoom whiplash. It happens all the time.
Carol likes to keep clicking.
Ignored it.
Carol likes to
Sorry.
keep, she likes to keep clicking, and she clicked one box too many.
Yeah, Bonnie and Carol came back right away. They left their whole people. They're like, see ya.
Yes.
So
So I couldn't,
Messaging and we left.
so I tried to share my screen and
Pardon?
I shared fine, but I couldn't figure out how to unshare.
Oh.
I couldn't get back out of
She
it.
did it. She took us right out.
let me see. So if I'm gonna try that, Jackie. So if I share my screen, what there should be is on the top, right at the top of your screen, it should now say you are screen sharing, and then it should say stop share. Okay.
Yeah, where's that at, Joe?
right in the top. So Jackie, let's see if you can share your screen right now.
Yeah, well,
I think I've given
we'll
you permission.
See. Okay.
Share your screen real quick.
All right, and just use my desktop, or is that
Just
okay?
anything.
Or?
Yeah, we'll be real quick
Okay.
about it.
All
So
right.
once you share it, if you go to the top center of it, you should see that you're sharing screen, and then it should, right to the right, it should say stop share.
Yeah, it does. You're
Okay.
right.
So stop sharing. And I want to show you, I heard this question a couple times. Well, no, I can't show you. I think I have to show you in pictures. Let me be real quick about this. In the screen sharing, there we go. So I'm going back to myself. I'm going to screen share again.
And everybody that was in my room with me, just so you all know I wasn't crazy, I did not have that option to
You didn't have
stop
the,
sharing.
Oh, really?
No, not in the breakout room. I didn't.
Yeah, this is times where we've got to practice, right? And some of this stuff, like you were saying, Bonnie and Carol, you were saying that you're almost brave enough to do a Bible study, right? What you want to do is get a couple people in practice, because you know, some of these permissions you have to set ahead of time, and sometimes you have to go, can you do this? Well, I don't know, but if there's only one of you, you can't go into a breakout room and figure it out. So today, if you saw, like in my practice session here, you saw that Cheryl, I said, Cheryl, you get on your computer, I'll be on my computer, here's my other computer, and you get on your phone. And we were able to have enough of us in that we could go test breakout rooms and test things like that. So Bonnie and Carol, Jackie, before you go live with real people, that's what I'd encourage you to do, you know. And the fun thing is you can use phones or other computers and just have a chat and practice, okay? I would always encourage that. Cheryl and I teach Zoom classes for loads of people. Tomorrow I'm teaching it to a fire department, believe it or not. And that's one of the things we always encourage facilitators to do, because you're gonna get, you're gonna be surprised at how challenging it is. And the first time, you'll get better at it. But the first 2 times or so, you'll catch yourself off guard. You'll miss something, or you'll lose the chat box, or you won't understand, you know. So you want to practice with folks who will be gentle and loving, and know that if you give that feedback to each other, right, you're going to be better when it's time that you're, you know, that you're actually hosting in front of your family or a group at the church, or, you know, a book club or anything like that. Okay. So I think we've gone over all these slides, things I told you. The one thing I want to offer you, though, as a facilitator, right up here, when I told you, when you click on participants and when you click on the chat, and they're both on the right-hand side of the screen, what I can do as a facilitator is I can choose, see right here, I'm choosing Cheryl's name. And these are my options. You don't have these, but as a host, I have these. I can stop her video. I can spotlight her video. I can make her the host or co-host, and that gives her some authorities. One thing I will tell you, really important, if you can, make somebody else that's not in your own home or your own building or even your own town the co-host. Because what's happened, like Barb tonight, they're having rain down in Austin. And we're on a satellite down there. So very often, we might lose internet. If I was down there, or say Barb was the primary host tonight, and she gave me co-host, and then if they lost their internet, the Zoom session would keep going because I'm the co-host. And you can actually make as many co-hosts as you want. And then co-hosts have a few other things they can do. You can read about that in, but they have a few more permissions that they're allowed to do. You can see here also, I could allow Cheryl to record the session if I wanted to. And this is where I could put her in the waiting room. I could give her a timeout. If she's being unruly, I could remove her from the meeting, which I won't, because she's my wife and that would be foolish, right? Can I get an amen with that? Yeah. No. And if she's really unruly, I could actually report her to Zoom, but I'm not going to do any of those things. I just want you to know they're in here. because Chris, you had a good question earlier around kind of the security and the safety of people, right?
Yeah.
Just to let you know, if you lose kind of control of someone, you can actually make them go away. You can put them in a waiting room to cool off, or you can just exit them out of your meeting. Okay.
Can I just make a point here, Joe?
Sure.
Zoom, the company Zoom, is doing a ton of stuff to upgrade. Every week, every 2 weeks, they're doing something else to make things better or to increase the skills. But their primary focus when they first started, right after COVID-19, was to increase security and privacy. And so that was one of the very first things that they did. So you'll see that there's a lot of security and privacy things that Zoom has included to protect people when they're using the call.
Yep. And thanks, Cheryl. That's important. And they are doing more and more and more. I think if you're a Zoom registered user, which means you pay for your account, there's upgrades like almost one every other week. Ellen, you might be seeing that as well. I do want to say too, Chris, on the bottom of my screen and not your screen, there's a security button. And when I click that, I can actually lock the meeting. So this is important. Say you knew that you had 10 people coming to your meeting tonight and you knew who you invited. Once all 10 of them got there, you as the host could click lock meeting and nobody else can come in. Now, we don't do that obviously at Sanctuary Online, because then I wouldn't have known that Judy was coming tonight. I wouldn't have known that Chris, you were coming tonight, so we never know. So we don't lock our meeting, nor do we have something called a waiting room. You can enable a waiting room, and then when people sign in, they go into a holding tank and you have to allow them in. So that depends how much security you need, right? And if you're doing stuff with youth, you're doing stuff with the church, you're doing stuff where there's sensitive conversations, those might be really important safeguards. And again, as the host, I would always let my people know this is what I've done. And then on that same security, I can let people chat, I can let people share their screen, or I can take those responsibilities away from people, right? So nobody can kind of take control away from me as the host. Now, I want to do one more thing really quickly because it's very fun, and I know we're way over, my goodness. So if you want to stay with me just 1 minute, I'm going to show you how I set something up. And this goes back to Jackie's question earlier about a video. This is something that's quite a bit of fun, and it takes a little bit of setup. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go out and share my screen, and I'm going to share the computer sound. I'm going to optimize the screen, and I'm going to advance it. And then what I'm going to do is show you that ahead of time, I went up and I grabbed Pharrell Williams, Happy, okay? And I also went up and I grabbed, can you see this now? The Bee Gees, Staying Alive. And I also have Baha Men. I'm gonna hold that off right now for a minute. But what I want to do is stop sharing my screen and show you something really cool. I've clicked it. The sound is going to go through the computer. I'm going to click on Pharrell. I'm going to turn him up a little bit. Can you hear Pharrell coming through? Mm-hmm. You can do any song you want, but don't you see that? Come on, Sandra, get it like this. So you start dancing, okay? And then what I do is I go up here and I click and I spotlight Bonnie and Carol. So ladies, all right, ready? Judy, it's your turn. Okay, so you.
Who am I?
And what you're doing, Ellen, forcing it. Where's my other people down here? Tammy is doing it. She's dancing, so I'm gonna forcing Tammy. So isn't this fun? So this is called Spotlight Video. And the sound, yeah. I'm gonna cancel Spotlight. and go back into gallery. But the same thing. I was doing this earlier. I'm just getting involved now. So it's very fun when you're, hold on, let me turn these guys off. Hey. I've lost control of my own Zoom meeting. Pharrell, hush. Whew, goodness. Okay.
But it wasn't very loud, Joe.
It wasn't too loud?
No, it needs to be louder.
All right, I have my sound on. Let me do an experiment. Now you know how to do this. Okay, so all I did there, folks, is before the meeting, I went out online and I just typed in Happy by Pharrell Williams. And I tested it because there's always going to be a commercial on, right?
Yeah.
So I made the commercial go away and I started about 11 seconds or whatever. That's where Pharrell starts to sing. And then I did the same thing for the Bee Gees. Same thing. I'm past the commercial. Same thing for the Baha Men. I'm past the commercial. And so I'm ready if I want to. Now you're seeing way too much over here. Let me just. If I had a plan here, once I did Who Let the Dogs Out, I was going to take it off that and show you all the different photos of all the dogs we had on our pet contest. Where is it? So there's doggies and there's loads of things like that. There's loads of fun if you prepare ahead of time and then practice, practice, practice.
Okay.
All right. I'm getting some applause there. Bonnie and Carol, you guys have been so good. You've been so loyal and so loving. I got you way over time right now, but I hope that gave you some curiosity for, there's lots of things I didn't even know you could do. I hope it gave you some actual skill and practice a little bit. And I hope it helps you. I think it's really important to start out by helping folks kind of navigate. If they're new to Zoom, they're not going to come to a meeting because they don't know stupid. They're not going to come to a book club because they don't understand Zoom and they don't think they'll be good at it, you know? And my friends, in this time of COVID, it is just so important to reach out and help folks connect, right? We just don't know how long this is going to go on after the holiday. Some cities are thinking they're going to actually shut down more, you know? So I just want to encourage you to reach out. And like we've done here with Sanctuary Online, for any of you who are here with us on May 2nd when we first started, we didn't know what we were doing. We made so many mistakes. It was silly. But we told people it's time. We don't want to wait until we're good enough. We want to just come out there. We want your grace, your love. We're just giving of ourselves and we're going to learn while we go, you know? And then as many of you, I think this is our third Zoom training class. So I also just told Bonnie and Carol, if you want to do something and you're up, Jackie, next week you're doing something, if you want to get a hold of me and we can just chat on Zoom and practice a few things, or Bonnie and Carol, if you want me to come and run your first class and run your folks around the Zoom, right? And then give you the co-host and let you rehearse with me there, happy to do it. Ken Martin, for those of you who were here last week, we did Ken Martin 2 weeks ago, Ken's book. And there's if you want a study guide for Ken's book on relationships, he offered not only to send you the study guide for free, but Ken will come and he will actually host your first meeting. So he'll introduce himself, he'll introduce the book, you know, and he'll do that first Zoom class. So it's a real neat way for you to kind of get your feet wet and not take all that stress the first night, right? We're happy to do that for you. Sanctuary Online has given Sanctuary in the Woods, our initial goal, the ability to come to more and more and more of you rather than you to come down to Austin and be with us. And we want to be a service. We want to be a training and inspiration and a place of community. And I'm going to do one more screen share just to let you know what's up for the rest of the week, because we have so many good things for you. Right before you jump off, don't you go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Hold on here. Let me get these down. See, now you're seeing way too much of my screen, but now you know what I'm doing. you know that I'm grabbing that little green box. I'm bringing it right down here to hug the slide. And now all you get to see is the part of my screen that I want you to see. Isn't that fabulous? And now you know how to do that tonight. So I'm pretty happy that I think you guys are leaving here with some real good skills. So next week, gender. If you know Ken Martin, you know he has spent his life studying gender, biological gender, gender roles, gender identity. It's going to be an amazing night. And I really encourage you to come and clear your schedule for next Tuesday. And it is a 1-2 punch, my friends. The very next Tuesday after that, Ken is going to kind of interview Toby Johnson. And Toby has written a book called Two Spirits, A Story of Life with the Navajo. And it's just an amazing, it's a novel, but it's about spiritual wisdom. And Toby is always look him up, just Google him. He's an award-winning author, numerous books, many of which explore the intersections of spirituality, sexuality, and mythology. And Ken is going to interview Toby based on Ken's work that you're going to hear about on the 15th, and Toby's book, as well as his life, his work, his passion. And in a time, in the times right now, this information is truly, truly important in many of the conversations that I know that you're having out there. And then finally, my friends, September 29th, we end it with a wonderful, we're going to end the month with our book club. Many of you know we try and choose one book a month. We give it to you ahead of time and let you have a whole month to read it. And then Cheryl's going to host a conversation that will include breakout rooms about where the crawdads sing. If you have not, Ellen, I think you've read this book, right?
Yes, I have, and it is so very good. You guys are going to love it.
Yeah. And
It's awesome.
Plenty of time to read it. It's a phenomenal book. It's a timely book, and the ending will just freak you out. I promise you, the ending is one of the best endings of a book I've ever read in my life. And then what's going to happen is Cheryl, because of who she is, she's going to let all the participants that come to that book club, she's going to have ask you to bring book suggestions, and that night you all will vote on the book that we're going to read for October. Isn't that fabulous? That's the kind of gal she is. I'm married up. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I got very lucky. But anyway, I want to thank you so much for coming tonight. We rarely run over like this with a teaching class. You know what? I'm lying to you. We rarely run over unscheduled, but next week we are going to go an hour and a half because of Ken's topic and because of the conversation we think it's going to create. So next week, Tuesday, we always start top of the hour. So East Coast, that's 8 o'clock. Central time, that's 7 o'clock. Mountain time, 6 o'clock. Pacific time, that's 5 o'clock. But we're going to go 90 minutes next week, and it's not a show to miss, okay? And I know it's going to be really enlightening. It really is Ken's work and his passion and a life work around gender. And it's just an important conversation right now. So God bless you all. We normally say unmute yourself and everybody give each other some love tonight. And we hope to see you again. Good to see you folks that are here for the first time.
Everybody give Joe some love. Thank you, Joby. That was awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Night.
Great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to see
Night,
you.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Good to see you, my friend.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Hi, Dawn.
Hey, Joe,